Gute Woche, Shavua Tov. Yeah. Tonight's sponsor is. He's asking for another minute. Hold on. All right. Tonight's sponsor, Gute Woche, everybody, is an appreciation for Eli and his whole dedicated team and the constant drive to improve from Naftali Rishel. Shkoyach. And Le'ilui Nishmas, Yeshua's grandfather was nifter on Friday. Let me get his name here for a second. There's 200 Baruch Dynamices. Shimon ben Baruch Zev. The Shama should have an aliyah. And Rabbi Rishel says like this: I wanted to thank you and your esteemed crew for the constant drive to improve the learning experience. This week, the addition of the daf on the screen made it easier to read and keep my posture straight instead of leaning over and shifting up for a diagram, etc. God willing, you should be saying daf to 500 or more in the near future. Amen. Thank you and bracha v'atzlacha. He's referring to the 75-inch screen that Mordechai Seltzer over there on top, he's able to follow the shear through Merkava. That's 70. Oh, that's 60. Only 65. That one is 75. I apologize. I hope that's your only ha'ara for this night's shear. Listen, he's holding everywhere in the Gashmias, in the Ruchnias, everything. Menachemat, unbelievable. Okay. I also want to thank, look, I just opened this up now. I got this on Shabbos. It was sitting on top. I was worried that somebody's going to take it. From Yisrael Goldstein. I just opened it up. For those of you, just as Agdama, Shlomi Klein sent, well, it started like this. I said that we just ran out of Cafe Bustela. It's a coffee that my wife and I drink. So I immediately switched off. I went to some Nestle stuff. It's not bad, so that I could save the final half a container for my wife. Mati heard about this, and he had one container like that. He told me he doesn't like it, his wife doesn't like it. He gave it to me. It was only missing a couple of spoonfuls, and it was great. And then we had Harry Shalom send us from America in the mail through Corona. It came back to him, went back, $200 later of shipping, a whole box of coffee came. Then, how many bottles? No, one was missing because the Meches decided to look for diamonds and drugs, and they emptied it out and threw it in the garbage. They gave me the empty bottle. They were very nice. They gave me the empty bottle. And I forgot how many were left. 6, 7, fine. Shlomi Klein just sent last week a whole box of 6. Well, it took him weeks to get her, of course, back, forth. Meches, Yeshua went to the Meches, fought with them, the whole thing. And in addition to the regular bottles of coffee, he also gave us this, what is it called? Not the instant stuff, the other stuff, with some device, with the filters, that whole thing. And then on Friday, another box from Shlomi Klein from Crown Heights. The same exact thing, even more coffee, the same with the thing, with the filters. Kitzer, we have so much coffee. And today, from Yisrael Goldstein, this was not that bad, $6.50 of postage. Okay, now you understand. Now you'll understand why he sent this. I love Cafe Bustelo. Guess who's going to be wearing this? Yeshua. All right, so we have that. Rabbis, I just want to tell you this very interesting email. Oh, I'm very excited to see Lazi here. Psh. There's a big thing for Lazi to come. Even though the pizza is about to show up, he came to the shir. That is huge. For Lazi, that's huge. This is from David Handler. This is a controversial email. I was thinking whether to say it or not, but it's a good email. Dear Rebelli, I can't begin to tell you how much I enjoy learning the daf with you. Your illustrations are very helpful in giving a very clear understanding of otherwise complicated sugyas. Your humor is always fun and keeps the session awake and attentive. Your demeanor is always pleasant even when you're criticized. I hope that you'll not be offended by what I'm about to say. This is a nice example. My demeanor is, even when I'm criticized. I'm a usually very critical person, but lately as I get older, I've improved a bit. But I was able, Baruch Hashem, to undo that and manage to keep my criticism to myself. This week, we will read Shlach Lecha in Eretz Yisrael, so this is from last week. So what I tell you, maybe consider the Dvar Torah. You jokingly said that the refrigerator that we bought for the Merkaz Daf Yomi, didn't come with an ice maker, that it cost an additional sum. No, we did get one with the ice maker, and it cost us $500. That's what I said. That in the States, one could buy an entire refrigerator with. While this is probably true, it's forbidden to say anything bad about Israel. This is halacha. The Meraglim did that, and all of Israel had to spend the next 40 years in the desert. I know that you certainly didn't mean to say something derogatory about Israel, just to make a joke. I see it this way. Now you can get everything in Israel, even an ice maker. Once upon a time, not that long ago, you couldn't get everything you wanted. Now, Baruch Hashem, you can. I'm telling you this because I love you and know that you would not want to sin. Respectfully, David Handler. So initially when I first saw this, I was thinking to myself, wait a minute. So I had this thing, when I first saw it, like, the refrigerator is made in China, and they decided to charge whatever taxes, some guy decided to charge taxes here on a Chinese made, it has nothing to do with Israel. What? Nothing to do with Eretz Yisrael. That's what I thought. But the more I looked into it, he might have a good, solid point, because it's causing other people to think maybe it's not a good idea to make aliyah, maybe it's, not because that it, typically you would think that it has to be something that's grown from Eretz Yisrael, it's here, but at the end of the day, he might have a good point. Initially, I just brushed it off like, okay, Tziyoni versus not Tziyoni, this, that, but he might have a good nakuda, so I'll take the Musar. I'll take the Musar. What? I'm going to send you that point also. You also. I didn't know, okay. Fine. It's a point. Zog the Heilige Gemara. We are holding Daf. Today's Daf Kuvav. My computer's dead? Yours is dead. Rabbi Isai, today's shir is also sponsored by Mishmas, Gary's computer that went. Hamaki Menachem Eschem. Your Akash Baruch Hu should give you back Kefal Keflaim. Your loss should be nothing. It should be instead of other Chas v'Shalom, other losses, and Bezer Hashem. Oh, and this is not a hint for some guy from South Africa to go buy Gary a computer. Chas v'Shalom. This is not a thing. Oh, get over here, Mendy. Get over here right now. Right over there, or right over here. Yeah, yes, no? Okay, fine. Now we can learn. Rabbi Yisai. So we're holding 4 lines from the bottom. Vayavdu daf kuf hamud beis. Vayavdu ha'omes Hashem kol yemei Yeshua. They were great. They worshipped Hashem as long as Yeshua was alive. V'chol yemei askenim asher richu yomim. And all the elders had arichus yomim achrei Yeshua. The problem is, we just finished saying on Friday that they didn't respect Yeshua. They didn't give him the proper covet he deserved, the 30 days of a hesped. And if you do so, what happens? He's worthy of burying him alive. And over here it says that arichus yomim. Says the Gemara, Amalei Bavloi, Mr. Bavel, Yomim harichu, shanim loy harichu. In other words, they had good, fulfilling lives, but they weren't extended years. So the years that they lived were good, but they didn't get that arichus. We say it in Shema. So what does it mean? Also, you want to tell me good years, not lengthy years? Oh, I see a Mordecai Gast. I'm not going to, should I embarrass him? A.W. Shalom Aleichem A&W. Ravam Willig. It's a good. Gives me chizik to see you. Tzaddik. All right. Says the Gemara, Bracha Shani. No. When we say in Shema, that means good years and long years. When it's coming to attack the Skenim that didn't respect Yeshua, they actually didn't get Arichas Yomim. If a brother dies, yidagu kol ha'achim kulan. They should be fearful of death. It's a bad sign. And if one of the guys from the Chabura dies, tidag kol ha'chabura kula. It's a bad sign. However, they explain, Amrillah demeis gadol, v'amrillah demeis katan. It's not that anybody in the Chabura. It means dafka, either the greatest one, that's where the tzara starts from, or the opposite, it's from the youngest or the smallest one, And that's where the tzara starts from. Says the Gemara, V'chol amikalkelim p'turim. Said in the Mishnah that anytime you're destructive, you break something, you're potter on Shabbos. Potter avalas. Tani Rebbe Avo kamed Rebbe Yochanan. So Rebbe Avo was saying this in front of Rebbe Yochanan. Kol amikalkelim p'turim chutz mechoyvalu mavir. I remember hearing once that I think it's Rebbe Avram Yeshua or one of the briskers. Somebody came to visit him, and he wanted his son to hear the Divrei Torah, and the guy started saying something a little krum. So he says, wait a minute. And he tells his kid, get out. I don't want you to hear these kind of things. This is not for you to hear. It's like Tomei. Like, it was in learning, but it was a little off. It was a little krum. Don't. So over here he says, Kol ha-mekalkelim p'turim chutz mechoyvalu mavir. Rebbe Avo says, halacha. Every one of the malachas that you're mekalkel, you ruin, you destroy, you're destructive, you're potter. Besides choyvel, wounding somebody, or a fire, mavir, omalei puk, tenei levara, go outside. These kind of things not in here. You're not saying the proper thing. What you're saying is not accurate. Arois. Choyvel umavir, huh? No. Tuktani levara, outside. So you have to know what the context is. It says outside. Puk tani levara, you go outside. Choyvel, it's good, you can continue darshan, but not here. Choyvel umavir eino mishnah. It's not said anywhere what you're saying. Now, vimtim tzaloim mishnah, and if you might have heard something, maybe you heard something in a different context, choyvel b'tzarech likalboy. You were drawing blood to feed your dog. So it's a constructive thing. Mavir b'tzarech le'efroi. I was actually in the middle of doing a chart tonight, but I had to stop short because of the shear. This is all I got. I wanted to do something. This is for later on. But here, Mavir, he's being destructive. He's doing a negative thing. He's burning wood. But he needs this. This is positive. So step one is this, negative, and then you have a positive afterwards over here. He needs the ashes. Ask the Gemara Rebbe Avo, according to Rashi. All of a sudden, Akasha. Rebbe Avo says all the 39 malachas, mikalkal potter, besides two. How could Rebbe Avo say such a thing? How does it fit into our Mishnah? Vanantnan, kol ha-mikalkalim peturim, period. There's no chutz in our Mishnah. The Mishnah says kol ha-mikalkalim, meaning every single one. Every last one, even choyvel and mavir. So this is the line. This is it for tonight. If we understand this line, we're good to go. Masnisin Rabbi Yehuda, Braisa Rabbi Shimon. End the story. What does that mean? So Rashi goes on. I'll tell you nicely. You have to. It's a little bit of a knate here. Rashi says, I don't know where he got this from. Where's there a machlokes between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon? And I started shaking like a leaf when I started reading this, because it comes out here that finally Rabbi Shimon is the chumrah. But Rashi sticks in, but maybe not. He is, but he's not. So then I calm down. And Rashi comes up with a big chiddush here. He says that we're going back to the machlokes of melacha she'ein tzrich legufa. And we're tying it into mekalkel. That is, melacha she'ein tzrich legufa. Again, what does that mean? That in order to be chayiv on Shabbos, according to Reb Shimon, you have to do something that's a positive, that's constructive. And if you do a negative, you have a mace in your house and you just want to get out, you want to get the smell out, you want him gone. It's not positive. You're just coming up with a solution to a problem that you had. Yeah? You have a problem, there's a smell, you push him out the door. You don't want that malacha, you don't want him outside, you just don't want him inside. That's not malacha she'tzrich l'gufa. So malacha she'tzrich l'gufa, according to Reb Shimon, is potter. Now, Reb Shimon holds, says Rashi, that every melacha, she'ein tzrich legufa, even if afterwards there's a positive, this is where I was trying to go with this chart, but this is where I got stuck. I was only able to accomplish step one, or I couldn't put any words or anything. Didn't have time. There's a negative. It's a malacha shein tzrich legufa. Do you want to burn the wood? No. What do you want? You want step 2. Hey, step 2 is too late. We look at step 1 only, says Reb Shimon. Step 1, malacha shein tzrich legufa. At this point, you didn't want it. You don't need it. So you potter. Tomorrow, something good came out of it. You have ashes? That's tomorrow. I don't care about step 2. I care about step 1. Memela, let's say I injure a dog, I injure an animal to draw blood, and I need the blood for tomorrow to feed my dog. That's malacha shein tzrich legufa. You're potter according to Reb Shimon. When I'm drawing the blood, that's not a malacha that I want. What I want is the outcome, that's step 2, which is to feed my dog. But I'm creating a chabura, I'm destroying whatever animal I'm drawing the blood from. That's a malacha shein tzrich legufa. Rabbi Yehuda says no. So Memela, so let's take Reb Shimon. So says the Gemara, this brisa that we just learned, that all the mekalkalim are potter besides 2, that goes according to Reb Shimon. Because Reb Shimon holds that all the mekalkalim are potter. All malacha shein tzrich legufa is potter. But in this specific case of choivel and mavir, he holds that you're chayev. But only in these 2 cases. Rabbi Yehuda, who holds malacha shein tzrich legufa chayev, if you have a malacha, that step 1 is negative. But since there's a step 2 that's positive, you're chayev. So Mele, if I want to feed it to my dog, you're chayev. So it doesn't fit in with what we're saying. Now, he holds, Rabbi Yehuda holds, all our Mishnah, we just said, kol ha-mekalkalim p'turim. All mekalkalim are potter. Every single one is potter. Why? Because if it's just a negative, you're potter. If there's an outcome of a positive, then you're chayev, according to Rabbi Yehuda. So there's a blanket statement. All mekalkalim are potter, according to Rabbi Yehuda, and all malacha shein tzrich legufa are chayev, according to Rabbi Yehuda. Because all malacha shein tzrich legufa, if there's a positive after the negative, then you are chayev. Yeah, a little bit hard.
Where's the machshava? You're burning the wood.
Yeah.
But are you burning the wood because you're burning wood for the ashes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for the ashes.
And in the end,
I don't care where your machshav is. I want the ashes. But right now, I'm doing a negative. I'm burning wood. I'm burning wood, says Reb Shimon Potter. Says the Gemara, look inside. Masnisin, Rabbi Yehuda. The Mishnah that says, Kol ha-mekalkalim p'turim, every single one, goes according to Rabbi Yehuda. Brisa, the Brisa that says that every single one minus 2, choivel and maver, are not included, that goes according to Rabbi Shimon. Should we repeat it? So Nachamal. So we'll say Nachamal quickly. Rabbi Shimon holds that even if you start off the malacha with a negative, and then you're going to get to a positive, he says you still potter because you started as a negative. It wasn't a constructive malacha as you started off. It will come out that if I am burning something, this case, I'm burning something because I want to get to here to a positive, according to Rabbi Shimon, you're potter. But the Mishnah says you're chayev. The Brisa, says you're chayiv in this case. 2 cases. This case and choivel, drawing blood to feed it to your dog. Chayiv. Why? Special halacha, says Reb Shimon, as we're going to see in a second. He has a limud. But Rabbi Yehuda, who holds malacha shein tzrich legufa, if I start off as a negative and I get to a positive eventually, I'm always chayiv. So this case of feeding to the dog is not special. This case of coming up with ashes is not special. Every single malacha shein tzrich legufa that ends up with a positive, you're chayiv according to Rabbi Yehuda. It's nothing to do with choivel and mavir. Every single malacha of the lamites malachas, if you start off as a negative and end up as a positive, according to Rabbi Yehuda, you're chayiv. So it's not a special thing that the Brisa says. The Brisa only makes sense according to Reb Shimon. El makalkalim are potter, even if they end up with a positive, besides these two called choivel and mavir. So the Mishnah that says, call hamekalkalin pturim, a blanket statement, and it doesn't include choivel and mavir, must be going according to Rabbi Yehuda. The Brisa that says that there's two that are not included must be going according to Rabbi Shimon. Now, my time with Rabbi Shimon. Why does Rabbi Shimon say that choivel and mavir are different than all the lamites malachas? Very good. The itzrich kra the mishra mila. Why does the Torah have to say? Why does the Torah? And by the way, I just want to point something out. That if we're saying that our Mishnah goes like Rabbi Yehuda, we have a little bit of a problem because on Friday we said that the beginning of the Mishnah goes according to Rabbi Shimon. That's a big no-no to say that the beginning of the Mishnah, the famous machlokes of Rabbi Shimon and Rabbi Yehuda, half the Mishnah goes like Rabbi Yehuda, the bottom half like we're talking about, and the first, Rashi addresses that and he says we're forced to say that. My time at the Rabbi Shimon mitzvah called the Mishra Mila. Ha'chayvel ba'al mochayev. If the Torah tells me that I'm allowed to do a Mila on Shabbos, it means because typically you're not allowed to do a Mila on Shabbos. Typically you're not allowed to be chayvel. Yeah, there's no derabbanan in the Torah. There's no such thing as, potter aval aser. That doesn't exist. So, mid'oraisa, I should be allowed to wound somebody. But from the fact that the Torah tells you, hey, by the way, you're allowed to do a milah and cut a baby for a milah, that means that if the Torah didn't tell me that, it would be aser for me to cut him, because chayvel is aser. So, that's one malacha. Chayvel is aser. If a bas kohen is mizana, we give her some lead to drink, hot lead, which is sreifa. And the Torah says you cannot do that on Shabbos. Shema mino, mavir ba'almo, chayav. You're not allowed to do it because typically you're not allowed to burn on Shabbos. It's a reverse kind of drasha, but they both come to say the same thing. So we have sreifa and chayvel, mavir and chayvel. Rabbi Yehuda, yeah, what? Who says it is? Why? But why would the Torah tell you that? Why does the Torah go out of the way? The opposite. Well, you're just helping. If it's true, you're saying you're helping. Why does the Torah go out of the way and say Mila is mutter? Why? That's the Dechaloisis. I don't need you. Because typically you can't do it. Adarab, you're just helping the case. So Rabbi Yehuda is going to say, listen, I'm making this kid Jewish. It's a tikkun. And that's why you're chayiv. He, l'shitasai. Anything that starts off bad, it's a nice cut, but it ends up, he becomes Jewish from that. So it's a negative, it starts off negative, ends up positive. Rabbi Yehuda holds, that's chayiv. That's a malacha. Ravashi, Don Ravashi, Mali Taken Mila, Mali Taken Kli. What's the difference if I make a person from Arel to a Jew? Mali Levashel Ptila, Mali Levashel Samonim. Just like in the Beis Hamikdash, in the Mishkan, they cooked up Samonim for the dye. So too, you're cooking up the lead to kill her. So it's a tikkun. It's a positive to get to what I need to do. Zog the Gemara, Shir Amalaben, Rabbi Yosi Machvi Kofel. We said, remember the gang sign? Two of these. This is Kesit, two of these. Now, that's the shear for Malaben, for spinning, for untangling, the shear. Rav Chia Barami Machvi Pashut. Why do I have to go like this twice? Go like this. It's the same exact shear. This is the shear. This is also, by the way, part of Nachman. If you looked at the video, you'll see. There's a nun, ches, kitzer, whatever. Kitzer is mechaven. Like this, or two times this, basically it's the same shear. Says the Mishnah, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Hatzod tzipor limigdal. If you want to trap a bird, the only way you're chayiv, according to Rabbi Yehuda, is if you trap him in a closet, a small little closet. Utzvi labayis. Chayav. According to Rabbi Yehuda, the only way you're trapping a deer is if you get him into a really small area like a house. In those days, a house is not like a 5,000 square foot home. You're talking about a dollar al dollar usually, whatever their houses were, very small houses. So Chachamim agree. Yes, you're right. It's when it comes to a bird, the only way it's considered trapped is when it's. Oh, we missed a good song, by the way. I have it marked here, but we missed it. We missed it. We missed the song in Masechta Shabbos. It's terrible. And Rashi, Daf Kufayim and the Beis on the bottom. Okay, next time around. Somebody remind me in 8 years from now. Utzvi legino ulechotzer ulevevarin. Say Rabbanon, say Chachamim, wait a minute. You don't need a trap. In order to be a trap, you don't need them in a small little room like a house. It could be in a nice enclosure, a nice size enclosure. In your yard, in your garden, which is a chiddush, right? How are you going to catch? I want to see you catch a deer in your yard. Reb Shimon Gamliel oimer loy kol habevarim shavim. So we see from the Gemara that Reb Shimon Gamliel is going on Chachamim. He's explaining Chachamim. He argues with Reb Yehuda explaining Chachamim. Loy kol habevarim shavim. Wait a minute. It's not. Some people have an acre enclosure. Some people have 100 feet. If you live in Brooklyn, you have 2 feet, like a little strip of. Everybody has different. So zaklal loy kol habevarim shavim. Zaklal mechusar tzeda potter. Sheinu mechusar tzeda chayav. If you could just go over them and catch him, great. But if you can't, you can't. Yishkoyach Reb Naftali for the sponsorship. I forgot to tell you Yishkoyach. I read your email. I didn't say Yishkoyach. Nanosam ein sodin dogim in abevarim beyontev. So bevarim is, I guess, one of these words that. What? Yeah. So. Bevarim could fit for fish also. It's not just an enclosure of something, it's a pond for fish. So on Yontif, the halacha is anything that you could do before Yontif, you're not allowed to do on Yontif. The reason why we cook on Yontif is because it's not as fresh. But you can't trap a fish on Yontif because you could trap it before Yontif and just put it in a bowl of water, let it swim around, and on Yontif you take it out. You have no business trapping fish on Yontif. So therefore, since you're not allowed to trap a fish on Yontif, so this fish is muktzah. If a fish is muktzah, you can't feed it. You can't go out of your way, trouble yourself for something that's muktzah. But these animals that are already captured, they're already in your possession, they're already in the bevarim, it's already in the bevar. So what does it tell me? You shouldn't be able to capture an animal on Yontif. Because you can do it Erev Yantiv. But it says, because it's already in your enclosure. So if it's in your enclosure, it's mutter. And therefore, since it's mutter, they're not muktzah. They're not muktzah, but name is zaynais. But the problem is, we have a contradiction. It says, Bevarim shel chayzer shel eved shel dagim, ein tzadam em Yantiv. You're not going to go over to it on Yantiv, even though it's in your enclosure. The first one says, if it's in an enclosure, you can walk over there and grab it. And here it says mafurish, you cannot walk over there and grab a deer on Yontif. Which one is it? Could you grab it or can't? So we have two problems here. We have a problem with the chayo and we have the problem with the oif. The first one also says, you could grab a bird, you could grab a deer, and the second one says you cannot grab a bird, you can't grab a deer. So, kasha chayo, kasha oif is oifas. So when we're talking about a chaya, we have a machlokes in our Mishnah. Rabbi Yehuda says, he limits it. He's machmir. He says, in order to be over on tzeidah, it has to be in a house. And Chacham say, no. The top line in this page, lebevarim. Chacham say, to be over on tzeidah, even on bevarim. They're machmir. They say anything. Right? The top line, where are you? You can't even see it anymore. Let's see what Merkavet could do. Go to the top line. Top. There you go. Ule bevarim, you see? That's Chachamim. Chachamim say that trapping a deer is utzvi, the first word on the page. Utzvi, legino chaz, ule bevarim. Okay, so what is this? This is an answer that tells me we don't like such answers, but they're okay when we don't have a choice, and that is machlokes. The Brisa that says that you're over by trapping in a bevar, that goes according to Chachamim. According to Rabbi Yehuda, you're not over. Great. Later on, we're going to see that perhaps we can get away from this machlokes and say it goes according to everybody. I have a good teretz also for oifis, maybe. If the place has a roof, so he's kind of trapped, this bird. He has nowhere to go. So I'll make such a distinction. Brisa the Brisa, the one that says you're allowed to grab it, because there's already trapped. There's already a roof, so he's trapped. I had a couple times, a week ago, right? A week ago, we had a bird in our stairwell. Go catch a bird, and that's a big, flimsy pigeon that doesn't really know how to get at his stuff. You couldn't catch him. Maybe, yeah, but it's like going up and down and flying, banging itself in the walls. And that's Mekura, and that's a bird. We'll see. V'abayis Mekura, says the Gemara, that can't be. V'abayis, the Mekurahu, what about a house? Every house has a roof. That's the basics of a house. Ubein l'Rabbi Yehuda, ubein l'Rabbanan, tzipah l'migdal in l'bayis lai. What does it say in the Mishnah? There is no machlokes when it comes to a bird. The only way you trap a bird on Shabbos, you get him into a closet. That's it. It says migdal. Migdal is a closet. Meaning, if you trap a bird in your house, if a bird comes into your living room, you close the door, you're not over on Seidah, according to everybody in our Mishnah, because it's not a closet. So what are you telling me in Afkamina? Oh, it has a roof. Not only is it a house, it's a football stadium with a roof. Oh, that's trapped. Go catch it. How are you going to catch it? It's an enclosed area. I don't know how. It's massive. It could be a beaver. Could be huge. It's not a house. What'd you say? No, the Olam doesn't hear me. They hear me. Something happened to you. Now your phone is broken.
No, we're good.
Oh, we're good. Okay. Brand new phone. What? Gary left. He has better things to do. But he's listening to us. I think he's jogging.
Probably refurbished. I know the guy that got it. It's probably refurbished.
We gave him that phone. It was like one of the most expensive Galaxies, and we gave it to him by the Siyum. So he says he knows it's refurbished. Shkoyach. Amar Rabbi Baravuna, hacha. B'tzipor dror askinon. In Hebrew, a dror is this guy right over here. Very common in all over the world, even on this. And if you look closely, you'll see that he actually took out a piece from that box. It's very chashuv how it happened. Took out a little piece. But I have experience with that bird, and others say it's this bird, a swallow, which is also common even in Ramat Shemesh. If you want to know what it looks like, it's those birds that don't have a rhyme and a reason when they fly. They keep on going. Like if you try to follow it, you won't be able to follow it for more than a second and a half. You know what I'm talking about? Those black birds that try to catch insects. They fly over water. They go under bridges. They have them in Ramat Shemesh also. The point is, if you try to catch a bird like that, says the Gemara, the fish edim kabelas maros. It won't take any commands from humans. The Tanat Be'er Shema, Lamanikar Shema Tzipa Drar, why is its name Drar? It could come into your house, you'll never be able to catch it. And when we were kids in Tifrach, in the Yeshiva Tana Tifrach, so they had these birds coming in there, and we try to catch them. Impossible. Throw things at it, it's impossible. Now, the only thing you could do is, you could tire it out. If you chase it for like an hour, and it doesn't drink or eat, then it just plops down to the ground. And that, by the way, I'm saying it because that's Seidah, as we're going to see soon. If you chase an animal to the point where it just gets so tired that it plops down, the Gemara here says that it's considered Seidah. Yeah. I don't know if you ever noticed, like you're driving down the street, one of these drawers is on the street, it takes a look at you, and then just continues eating. And then it knows when to fly away. Like they're impossible to catch. And the Gemara says they could go in and out. They actually, I see them going into people's houses all the time. They go in, catch some food from the kitchen, leave. They have no problem. So a bird like that, says the Gemara, that's what our Mishnah is talking about. That's why the Mishnah says the only way you can catch a bird like that, consider catching it, is in a small closet. But a regular bird, let's say a pigeon or whatever, a different bird, that you could catch it even in a larger area. So then there's an afkamina between whether it has a rooftop or not. If it has a roof, then it's caught. Then, okay, so let's say it's in the stairwell, it's basically caught. You could do a couple moves and you'll get it. But if it could get out, there's no rooftop, then That's the nafkamina between the brisa, the two brises. Says Gemara Hashadas is lachi, but once you already said such a teret, so I could why say there's enough community between Chachamim and Rabbi Yehuda? I'll just say everything goes according to Chachamim. Ha bevever gadol, ha bevever katan. You didn't tell me what size it is. Yeah, one is talking about a smaller bever and therefore it's easier to catch. Chayav an tzeda, and you're talking about a larger one. It's your potter. Hechidam bever gadol, hechidam bever katan. What are we talking about? Ravashi kolecha derod basrei umatila bechad shichyo. If I could just in one run try to grab it and I don't have to go back and forth, then that's considered catching it. Bever katan, that's considered bever katan. V'idach bever gadol. Anything larger than that is a bever gadol. Says Gemara another pshat, 3 pshatim. Inami kolecha denafel tulo dichsolim hadadi. When the shadows of the walls fall on top of each other. So what if I have a wall that's 400 feet tall? So the shadow will fall. I mean, what's going on here? Says Taisus, the really small Taisus, he says because in those days every wall was the same height. You go to Home Depot, it's one height. You can't get more than 8 feet. Whatever it was, everybody did the same thing, and therefore you can make a shear based on the heights of the walls. Vinami, another pshat, kol heicha deleke uktzei. There's nowhere for the animal to run away. There's no corners. Bever katan. That's considered small. V'idach bever gadol. All right. Tremendous chiddush I saw today. Maybe it's more nageh for tomorrow. So what about catching? I mean, this is nageh every day. What about a bee? A bee comes into your house, and you're worried it's going to sting you. You allowed to catch it? What about a mosquito? What about a fly? What about a snake? A snake that doesn't bite, a non-dangerous snake, just making your wife nervous. Those cockroaches. Somebody actually called me up if you could sleep an hour upstairs because there's a cockroach running around this house. His wife is not asking to sleep there. But Baruch Hashem, they were able to kill it before Shabbos. It was a grace and nace. What about these things? So there's major halachas. It's Mefurish and Mechaber, Mishabura. But a big chiddush that I saw today, it's more, I'm just so excited about it, even though it's more to get to tomorrow, is that a snake, the Bir halacha says that by a snake, it's not even capturing it. Because that has nothing to do with capturing. Capturing is when I catch a deer because I want to eat it. That's what they did in the Beis HaMikdash. They caught an animal. Here I'm catching an animal because I don't want it. It's the exact opposite of catching an animal. Yeah, it's catching. Of course it's catching. It's trapping. What? So is a bee. So is a scorpion. So is all these things. I don't want the snake. It's because I don't want the snake that I'm capturing that it's mutter. He doesn't say it. He says then it turns into he has a big steer in the Rambam, and this is how the Chavetz Chaim answers the steer. What? Right, but it's more than it's like not even in the category of tzeda. I thought it was Givaldic. Okay. No, dangerous, different story. Not dangerous. I don't want it. What? That's if it's dangerous. No, I'm saying it's not poisonous. The guy told you it's not dangerous, and you see it in the neighborhood all the time. It just happens to be in your living room. It's not so geschmack to eat your Shabbos food when this thing is wrapped around your daughter's leg. It's not so geschmack. So you want to get rid of it. You let it trap it. So he says that's the chiddush of Bir halacha. Anyway, Zok the Gemara. Reb Shimon Gamliel Omer. Omer Rav Yosef Omer Yehuda Omer Shmuel. Halacha ke Reb Shimon Gamliel. Right, the top line here on the page, on the page. Oi, Chatasi of VC on the Amud. The top line on the Amud. Reb Shimon on the folio. No, not Chas v'Shalom. Yeah. Reb Shimon Gamliel Omer Lo Yikol HaBivarim Shavim. Zaklal Mechuset Tzedek Potter Shein Mechuset Tzedek Chayiv. B'kitzur, Reb Shimon Gamliel says a whole shtickle Torah in Baver. What's a Baver? It's not a Baver. Says the Gemara that halacha is like Reb Shimon Gamliel. Who argues on him? So that's very interesting. What do you mean who argues on him? The Mishnah brings Amanda Omar, his name is Rabbi Yehuda. Who argues on him? So, yeah, this is a machlokes. The pshat is because Reb Shimon Gamliel is going in Chachamim. So really, what Reb Shimon Gamliel should say, what the Gemara should say is halacha ke Chachamim. What are you telling me? Allah Reb Shimon Gamliel. And besides, Chachamim and Reb Shimon Gamliel are much more than a Das Yachid. So Abai considers that not even a machlokes. But I think the nekuda is l'chayra. It should say halacha kechachamim. It would make a lot more sense. What's the difference? Okay, so there are other people. There aren't other people. Gemara is marta tehei. What I'm just learning with it for a song. I want to know what's going on. Torah Rabbanon hatzod tzvi suma v'yoshin. You try to capture a deer who's blind and sleeping. Chayav. We'll see in a second why. Chiger v'zaken. There's a lot of pictures. I just remember that there's a yoni picture of like a fox with a thermometer. I don't know. I couldn't find it today, but there's plenty of these pictures. An animal that's sick, handicapped animal, an old animal, a chayla, potter. What's the difference between the two lists? Blind and sleeping, you're chayiv. Chigir, zaken v'chayla, you're potter. What's the difference? Even, this is interesting, I don't know what it means exactly. A blind deer could get away from you. Maybe it doesn't mean 100% blind, like very, very weak eyesight. The yashen, a sleeping deer for sure could get away from you. As soon as he hears you, it's a whole, he can get away. But you think that okay, maybe not in a forest, more like an open field kind of thing. It will run. The kids are assuming will run. But what? It runs as fast as it can, and then it hits a tree head on. It's like, all right. But we have a problem. But on the other hand, you tell me Choyla is potter. Choyla cannot go anywhere. He has fever, he has corona, he's not going anywhere. But it says Choyla, it is considered trapping, because he is going somewhere. Or Rav Sheshes Lekashi. He has fever. If he's sick because he's fatigued, he's tired, then he can't get away. So what do you see from this? This is the point I was saying before. If you tire out an animal to the point that he's uftzino, he's fatigued, then you're over and seda. Because here's a guy that's uftzino, you can just walk over to him and grab him. So if you bring him to that matzav that he's so tired he can't get away, you're over and seda. Tana Rabbanon, Hatzad Chagavim, Gizin, Shaila here, if Gizin is a separate word than Chagavim, because Rashi says Gizin are kosher, they're not kosher, yes kosher, Bekitzer, it's some sort of grasshopper, some read it Chagizin, but grasshoppers that you could use. Tzurayim v'yatushim b'Shabbos, what about hornets? Yatushim b'Shabbos chayav, Dir Meir. By the way, for 1,000 points, who remembers in this Masechta what, you're doing Chazar, you should know this. It's not going to put you on the spot. Laibi, I'm not putting you on the spot, Laibi. Who remembers what you should do if a hornet bites you? It was in this Masechta. Huh? 2,000 points. 2,000 points. Going for the first time. Anybody on Zoom? Anybody? What do? The Gemara says, the whole Gemara. I think it's on Daf Samach Beis. Maybe I might be completely off. Because I looked it up on Friday. So I don't remember anymore from Friday to now. It's not like I'm trying to guess the Daf. Anyway, the Gemara over there says you take a fly. You put a fly on it. They're chatting? All right. What, over here I should do chat. I see somebody talking about snow. Rub dirt on it. Avi Mandelbaum, rub dirt. Honey. No, they didn't get it. Okay. Wow, this chat is long. Oy vavoy. I was never zoicha to be on this. I don't think I want to be. I'm getting out of here quickly. Okay, next. Weiter. If it's normal to capture it, meaning because you need it, you have benefit from it, not like a fly that you, that's also a discussion. Some people say even on a fly that's considered nitzoid, but let's just say that the Pashup Pshat is you're having benefit from it. Chayav, v'chol she'ein b'minin nitzoy potter, who traps hornets? Who needs to trap? It's not a thing. So Mela, you're potter. Tanya Yidach, Hatzad Chagavim B'Shas Hatal. The dew in the morning causes these grasshoppers to go blind. They don't know where they're going. So Mela, what? It's like nitzoid va'aymed. It's readily available. You can just go and grab it. Potter, therefore you are potter. B'shas ashrav, like here in Israel we have shrav. Chayav. If it's really, really hot, you're chayav. Even though it tires them out a little bit, they're not 100%. Like we just had this year recently in Africa. You have swarms of them. So only just stick your hand out and grab potter. Was he saying on the ratio where it says that when there's tal and they're blind, you're potter? In there he said, no, you're not potter, unless there's swarms of them. Or perhaps he was saying, in the shrav, when it's really hot, that you're chayiv, but in that case, if you have many of them, then you're potter. Which one was he saying? Tashma tzod chagom shasatal potter. B'shas hashrav chayiv. And he's talking about the shrav. Afil b'shas hashrav and moyim kachas is potter. So that answers the question. You see Mefurish in the Brisa, he's talking about the second case, as when it's really hot, you're chayiv, but if you have many of them, and it's hot, then you're potter. Yeah, this is typical trapping. A deer walks into your house, you lock the door behind him, boof, you're chayiv. You don't have to grab onto it, as long as now you have the opportunity to go grab him. Nalu shnayim pturim. This is no different than two people carrying a small loaf of bread out the door. So over here, two people close the door, they're potter, shnayim shasu. Lo yachal echad lino v'nalu shnayim, like we had with the big giant loaf of bread. Remember Yoni's picture? You need two people to carry it. So each one is chayiv. So over here, since it's a very heavy door, I believe we even had this Mishnah there. It was a very heavy door. Individual, one person by himself can't close the door. It was in... it's not a So we did have it. So it was like Shar Yafo. I remember even saying this. Like Shar Yafo, a massive door weighs tons. One person can't do it. So two people had to close the door. So now they're chayiv because it's not Shaim Shasu. Since it's needed, you need the second person. Each one is mishtatif in the malacha, the chayiv, Reb Shimon Paita, as we saw over there. He learns from Sukkim that you're potter. If you try to capture a lion on Shabbos, and a lion will run away. So Baruch Hashem, we're going back to the safari. So when I was in the safari and I walked with the lions over there, we had 3 lions. We started off with 3 lions. First we walked in there and they set off explosions everywhere. I'm like, what's this? Oh, because we're in the wide open jungle. We're not in a private little enclosure. We're in the jungle. So we have to make sure that there aren't any other animals because the lions will go crazy. They'll try to, okay, so one explosion, half hour of explosions, okay, it's clear. Then we go and say, okay, these are the 3 lions. You ready? Here are 3 lions. All of a sudden one lion gets up and just dashed out of there. He was gone. Shalom. He never came back. For the rest of the tour, for whatever hour that we were there, he decided he's gone. A lion you can't control if you don't want to control. If he doesn't want you to control him, you're not going to be able to control him. But how could you control him? If you put him into a metal cage or something, then you could control him. That's the only way. So if you think, like that guy in Africa, he was holding on to the lion, this is a joke. Obviously, we know that. We don't need the Gemara, but you cannot just hold on to a lion. I guess you could hold on to a deer. I'm not sure. I think they're very strong also. But if you grabbed it probably by the horn, you probably wouldn't be able to get away. But a lion is not the same thing, obviously. And Memela, you need to put him in a gurziki, some sort of cage that's specific for lions. Yashav echad, says the Mishnah. Final Mishnah for today. Yashav echad ala pesach veloy milo. Ruvain sits in the doorway, but he doesn't fill out the whole door. So Memela, what? The deer could run away. So Ruvain didn't accomplish anything by sitting by the doorway, so he wasn't over on trapping. Yoshev hasheni milahu hasheni chayiv. So we pretend that the first guy is like a half a door. He's nothing. So the sheni is the guy, the second guy, Shimon, who sat down. He's the one that's chayiv, and only him. The first guy is not doing anything. Yoshev Rishon al Pesach Milo. What if Reuven sits down by the doorway and fills out the doorway? Yoshev Hasheni Umilo, and then the second guy sits down right in front of him. No, I skipped something. Nachamal. Yoshev Rishon al Pesach Milo. Uba Hasheni v'Yoshev b'tzidoi. That's where I am. Uba Hasheni v'Yoshev b'tzidoi. He sat next to him. Afal pi shomad Rishon v'halach loi. Harishon chayev Hasheni patur. What happened? Here, I think this is the picture. I think it's this case. If it's not, we can just make it up for this case. First guy sits, he's blocking the door. Comes the second guy, sits next to him, not doing anything much. The first guy gets up and walks away. Now, the second guy is the one protecting the doorway. But the second guy came after the first guy when the door is already protected. So what's the halacha? The halacha is the second guy is not chayiv at all. Why? Says the Gemara, says the Mishnah. I'll give you an example. You have a deer that's already caught. He's already in your house. He's already tied up to the wall, let's say. He's already tied. And then you go. Then you go and you lock the door. Locking the door is nothing. The deer is already tied to the wall. He's not going anywhere. So who cares? You could slam the door. This way, even if the door is open, he's not going anywhere. So by you closing the door, didn't do anything. Now that the deer got undone from this rope that he's locked to the wall, does it make a difference? You don't have to go and open the door, because when you close the door, you are noiver and seda. So then 10 minutes later, the deer was able to finagle his way out of the rope. Doesn't make you chayiv on the fact that you locked the door 10 minutes ago. And the door can remain locked. So here too, says the Mishnah. Reuven sat down, he locked the deer in. Comes Shimon, he does a double lock. He sits behind him. He did zero. The fact that Reuven got up and walked away, he's just standing there. He's not actively making a tzeidah. He was there 10 minutes ago. Memela, he's completely patur. Rabbi say, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Tomorrow at 7:15 as usual. We'll see. I can't guarantee that we're going to do the whole daf tomorrow. It looks like a nice long one.